Hey everyone! So let's dive into a topic that is absolutely everywhere right now, artificial intelligence. Specifically, we're going to talk about how it's shaking up some really high-stakes professional jobs. We're talking finance, law, compliance, you name it. The big question is, what does this new world of work actually look like? Let's get into it.
Okay, right off the bat, let's just get this out of the way. The first thing everyone worries about is jobs just disappearing. But the reality, it's way more interesting than that. This isn't about extinction, it's really about evolution. The jobs themselves aren't vanishing, but their job descriptions are being rewritten right before our eyes.
And look, this isn't some far-off, futuristic idea. A recent global survey found that a massive 77% of professionals believe AI is going to have a high or even transformational impact on their work, and not in 10 years, but within the next 5. This is not a what if anymore. It's happening right now.
So how is this rewriting actually happening? What's the mechanism here? In this first part, we're going to break down the fundamental shift that's going on. And spoiler alert, it's not just about getting new software. It's about completely rethinking where human value really comes from.
Here's the secret sauce. AI is just incredible at handling all the repetitive, data-heavy grunt work that used to eat up so much of our time. Things like reconciling accounts, sifting through thousands of documents, or just monitoring log files. By taking over these tasks, AI is freeing up actual human experts to focus on what we do best, thinking critically, solving complex problems, and making those big strategic calls.
Okay, so we've got the theory down, but what does this look like in the real world, on a day-to-day basis? Let's take a look at how this shift is playing out right now in 3 huge professions: finance, law, and compliance. In finance, the change is just, wow, it's dramatic. The old school role was all about manual data crunching and putting together reports. Now, AI tools do that faster and more accurately than we ever could. So the finance pro gets this amazing upgrade. They go from being a number cruncher to a strategic advisor, what some are calling a value creator. Your job isn't just to report what happened anymore, it's to interpret what the AI is telling you and help steer the entire company. And it's a very similar story in the legal world. Think about all those billable hours spent digging through mountains of case law or drafting a standard contract from a blank page. AI can now do the first draft of that stuff in seconds. So what's left for the lawyer? Well, the most important part. They become a decision validator. They take what the AI produced and they refine it. They add that nuanced legal judgment and that strategic thinking that, honestly, only a human can bring to the table. For compliance, the big shift is from being reactive to being proactive. It used to be about checking boxes and digging through logs after something went wrong. Now, AI acts like a super smart scout, constantly watching data in real time and flagging weird patterns before they blow up into big problems. This completely transforms the compliance officer's job. They're no longer a box checker, they're a risk strategist, focused on investigating real threats and figuring out how to stop future ones from ever happening.
And this is where you really see that human-AI partnership in action. It's a simple 3-step dance. Step 1, AI does the heavy lifting, scanning just unbelievable amounts of data. Step 2, it finds the needle in the haystack and raises a flag. But step 3, that's the crucial human part. The expert comes in to investigate, to understand the context, and to make the final call. The AI gives you the signal, but the human provides the judgment.
So this brand new partnership completely changes the game when it comes to skills. It's creating this huge demand for a new kind of expert, someone who can live in both worlds, who gets their industry inside and out, but also understands the world of AI. Let's talk about this hybrid professional.
Now, a hybrid role doesn't mean you suddenly have to become a coder or a data scientist overnight. Not at all. It's about blending the deep expertise you already have in law or finance or whatever your field is with a new set of digital skills so you can work with these AI systems effectively. You're still the expert, but now you're an expert with superpowers.
So what's in this new toolkit? Well, it's a mix of different things. On one side, you've got skills like data literacy and prompt engineering, basically learning how to talk to AI and understand what it's telling you back. But on the other, you need skills like algorithmic auditing and AI governance, which is all about making sure these incredibly powerful tools are being used responsibly and ethically.
I love this quote because it just perfectly captures the moment we're in. For decades, right, Excel has been the language of business. If you worked in finance, you lived in spreadsheets. Well, in this new world, having a basic grasp of a programming language like Python is becoming just as essential for professionals who need to really interact with the AI models they use every day.
And here's the thing, we need to get moving on building these skills like yesterday. A recent survey of chief legal officers found this enormous gap. Nearly 3/4 of them admit their teams are not ready for this. 73%. That's not a future problem, that's a right here, right now crisis.
So that's 73% skills gap. That's a huge red flag for any leader out there. And it leads to the obvious next question. If you're a manager, a leader, anyone in charge of a team, how in the world do you navigate this massive transition? Let's break down an action plan.
It really comes down to 4 key things. First, you've got to invest in upskilling your people right now. Next, you have to build a culture where AI is seen as a tool that makes people better, not something to be afraid of. Third, you've got to rethink who you're hiring. Look for people who are adaptable. And finally, and this is a big one, you have to set up strong governance to make sure this tech is used ethically and responsibly. This isn't just a tech project, it's a total cultural shift.
And make no mistake, this is getting attention at the very highest levels. A full 95% of chief legal officers say their teams are already engaging with generative AI. This isn't some side project for the IT department. We're talking about the C-suite, and they are all in because they know this is going to fundamentally change how business works.
So, we've seen the big shift, we've met the new hybrid professional, and we've got a plan for leaders. For this last part, let's bring it all home and focus on the most important person in this equation, you. What does all of this mean for your career and your place in the workforce of tomorrow?
If you take away just one thing, let it be this. The future is not human versus machine, it's human with machine. It's this incredible partnership that combines the raw speed and power of AI with the things that make us human, our judgment, our creativity, our ability to think strategically, and maybe most importantly, our ethical compass.
Which brings us to the final question I want to leave you with. As AI gets better and better at handling the what the data is saying, what a contract should look like, what the risks are, our most valuable contribution will be mastering the why. Why is this the right strategy? Why is this clause critical for our client? And why is this the right and ethical thing to do? That is where the future of professional work really is.